Time for some silver. I'm gonna make a lady's ring today. I sadly had to buy this one for gumption. I can't do much of cabochon work right now. My setup isn't finished, but that's okay. Little by little, I have my bezel made up relatively. We still got some work on it. Get a little bit of detail wire around it, and this will be our little bit of backing plate right in here, already pre-annealed. And then the rest of this is going to be for the shank. I don't need all of it, just correct weights on both sides. I'm going to make 2 sets of wires, round wire, and then I'm going to hammer them out to half round with a neat little trick, and then we can solder them and bend them together for the shank. Let's start with the spoon. A little better. Nice and flat. There's a little bit of wavy spots in it, but that's okay. I can manage. I did not hammer it on a nice flat surface. This has got a little bit of a bow to it on all 4 corners. Still not bad for second hand. Let's get to the bezel. What I have to do on this one is I've already pre-marked everything all the way around based on an eyeball, and I'm going to take my triangle needle file and file each one of those grooves that I had started until it gives a little bit more detail in the bezel. I don't feel like I should be buying it all the time, so I'm going to practice my hands in making it. Why buy it when you can make it? There we go. Much more detail and easier to set. If you want to see how I made this, leave me a comment. If I get enough people, I'll make a video on just this. It's not perfect, but it was handmade, so I don't expect that. Let's get to the shank. There we go. Ready to pour. I was going to make 2 of them, but I think this new rod that I have will do just fine. I can get plenty of what I need out of that. Let's get some metal in there. Alright, the big reveal. Got it way down at the bottom, so I know it's full. I did a little too much silver. There's still some in my crucible, but we'll save it for next time. Just like this. Let's get this thing out of here. Oh, there we go. Nice and cleaned up. Now it's time to anneal it and turn it into half round. A little trick that I've learned along my time of wanting to make jewelry is using my ingot mold for making half round. I don't have a rolling mill and I don't have a swage block, but I have this. And I've tried it twice before and it worked out just perfectly. So that's what we're going to do. Oh yeah, that's better. Not as round as it used to be. A couple of helpful tips. If you do use your ingot mold, is to not hammer close to the top or the bottom side of it. The grooves that are there, you'll hammer in that detail and you have to either clean it up later. The best thing to do is to take your bar that you're using and hammer right in the middle relatively and pull it as you're hammering in the same spot. It makes it much easier and much less cleanup. You can still kind of fix it if you get one like I did in the middle right here. It's just to put it back in there right where that mark is and hammer it out. And there is a bit of a ridge line on the edge here and on the edge here that kind of overlaps. I prefer that just to know that whatever piece of metal that I'm hammering into my makeshift swage block, that it is pressed completely into the half round space. It's not that bad of cleanup with a file. So before I start on the rest of this, I'm going to make sure that all of this is done. So let's get to last cleanup on the bezel, which is the inside. Solder it on, and then we'll solder on our detail next to that. Yeah, a little cleaner. Now that everything's all cleaned up, we can solder it on. Oh yeah. There we go. Nice and soldered together. Our bezel and our detail. Let's cut it out. So much better. Look at that. Ready for cleanup. Once the cleanup is done, we can start on the shank. A little cleaner. Good enough for me for now. Now let's start on the good part. I'm going to hammer this flat first, file off both edges as well as one end, and then I'm going to measure for how long I want this to be. Yeah, that's about what I need. All measured up and cut. I got one last little bit of filing and cleanup, and then we can bend it and solder it on. Much better. It looks like a ring now, almost. It's a little big. I should have squeezed this in just a little bit more to bring the ring size down. What I might do is cut a little section out of the bottom here and close it up and resolder it one last time before I put my piece of turquoise in. Then we can get to the final cleanup and put our piece of turquoise in. Looks like a ring to me. Woohoo, look at there. Good practice. I've tried the split shank only once before, and it wasn't with silver, it was with copper. And I didn't have copper sheet or a way to make it, so I only did the shank part. I'm happy with how this turned out. Right on the inside here, it's a little rough. It doesn't match completely flush to the back plate, but that's okay. And one last thing I got to do is polish the inside. Still looks pretty. On to the next one.